Hey everyone, thank you. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rob, and here we're going to have something a little different. Today we are building a PC without a GPU. We're going to go ahead and use this AMD 5700G, and that does come with integrated graphics. And we're going to see how we can build today, play today, have some gaming fun, and have room for upgrades later. So this is not necessarily a budget build, but it does get you out of a pinch if you need to build a computer and you do not have access to a graphics card. Imagine that. All right, let's get to it. All right, like we mentioned before, we are using an APU. That means integrated graphics. This is the 5700G, and this is an 8-core processor, so it leaves you enough room to go ahead and upgrade to a real GPU whenever you do get a chance to get your hands on one. So we're gonna go ahead and try and overclock this a little bit, but yeah, this is the main staple of this build right here. All right, so we went ahead with this Aorus Elite AX V2. This is a B550 board, and this does take the AM4 socket, and this will take the 5000 series CPU. Now we went ahead and we beefed it up a little bit because we are going to overclock it, and eventually this computer will have a GPU in the near future, hopefully. So this will let us overclock it with the really good power VRMs, and it's 12 plus 2 phase. So we're going to go ahead and use this, and this will future proof us just a little bit, and it'll be easier for us to overclock and manage the heat. All right, so for this APUs, we are going to need some good RAM. So we went with 16 gigabytes at 3600 megahertz. That should help out integrated graphics, and it'll help us also get the most FPS that we can. So we went ahead with this. Now this is 18 latency, CL18, so it's going to be a little tricky. Everywhere I've read, it seems like everybody's using CL16 for the latency. But for the price we got, this was about 80 bucks, and you do get RGB. We're gonna go ahead and make it work. So here we go. All right, and next we have the storage. This is 1 terabyte of Gen 4 NVMe, about $103 right now. We couldn't beat it, so we're gonna go ahead and use this WD Black NVMe. All right, for the power supply, we went with this CV650 from Corsair. Now this was about 44 bucks, 45 bucks, and it is a little bit overkill for the APU, but since this will be upgraded in the near future, we went ahead and gave it some breathing room and some overhead with this 650 power supply. You can probably run a 3060 Ti and probably a 3070, no problem. And we're gonna go ahead and install this, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we're about to finish the benchmarking. Everything went well. BIOS was updated all the way. It's D12 version, I believe, and that was good to go. Gave us picture right off the get-go. We went ahead and posted. We installed Windows. Everything is good. The RAM is on the XMP, so it's fully going 3600 megahertz, so that's a good thing. And this benchmark gives me medium settings at 1080p, and this is worst case scenario. I think it's giving me about 45 or 46 FPS, but that's the Valley benchmark. You can adjust settings when you're in game, and we're gonna see a couple other benchmarks as soon as we get the case going. But for now, here it is, and we'll get back to you when it's completely built. That'll be for another day. Let's go. Hey guys, so this is part 2, day 2, and basically here we have finally the case arrived. So we have the 220T RGB. This is from Corsair, and this is a mid-tower case. We're gonna go ahead and try this case out. It's not super expensive. It is a little budget friendly, but it's not small, it's not tiny. So this will leave them space for the GPU upgrade in the future, and we're gonna keep the Wraith cooler for now because we're not gonna do too much overclocking. I want to have a real good cooler if we're going to do that. So that might be a future video, to see the difference with FPS and things like that. Also, I got an AIO that I'm not using because it's not working because I don't have the brackets. I've contacted Master Cooler a few times and they haven't gotten back to me. So we went ahead and ripped this out of the AIO, and we're going to use this as the rear fan for the PC. So we're going to use this. It is ARGB or RGB, whatever, but we'll figure it out. It's going to look nice and pretty. So we'll go ahead and get this started. Let's do it, guys. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and try and turn it on. The cable management is gonna go next. I wanna make sure it runs before we do any of the, or waste our time with any of the cable management. But that's what it looks without a GPU. It's actually a pretty clean look. It's very easy to manage, cable manage. It's very easy to make look clean. So that's something positive about not having a GPU. But let's go ahead and see if we can turn it on. Alright, so there you go. I just turned it on. I didn't hit record on the camera, but there you go. I first try, it turned on pretty quick. Let's see if we get a picture. Now, we already pre-built it, as you saw previous, and everything was working fine. So we're gonna go ahead and hope for the best here. Come on, there we go, perfect. So it looks like now we can adjust some of the timings with the CPU, try to overclock it just a little bit. It looks awesome, super awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and show you it a little bit up close. You know, it's not the greatest gaming PC in the world or anything like that, but under a pinch, it's not too bad. Let's see right there. Let's get you some PC love just so you see it. Everything is good to go. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. You know, not terrible with the RGB. We didn't go too crazy with it, but it's looking good. We always want that PC to turn on, so I'm happy about that. All right, guys, let's see what we're gonna do about this timings, these overclocks. All right, guys, I'm running the first test. This is not overclocked. This is XMP 3600 megahertz CL18. I'm gonna go ahead and run it the first time just how it is, stock settings, and then I'm gonna slightly overclock the CPU and GPU, not too crazy, and we'll see what we get. So let's wait for the benchmark and we'll cut to what we get on stock settings. Alright, guys, so medium settings, 1080p, that's with anti-aliasing and ambient occlusion on the Valley benchmark. We are averaging 46.2 FPS, so I would say 47. Let's see if we can get 50 at 1080p medium, so like that we can go ahead and improve on every game that we're going to try out today and when our friend Frankie starts playing. So let's see what we're going to do about this overclock. Alright, wish me luck. Alright, guys, so we went ahead and did 3800 megahertz on the RAM. It is still CL18, and we gained about, you know, 1 FPS on the test, and we're at 1.3 volts at 2300 megahertz as far as the integrated graphics cards. So alright, ladies and gentlemen, we went ahead and finished everything. We only gained about 2 FPS more, so I think the CPU's running a little hot, so it's throttling itself a little. I'm going to leave it like that, and we're going to go ahead and leave the Wraith cooler for now. I don't have anything beefier for that, but we're going to go ahead and let our buddy Frankie know that we're going to need a better cooler situation for that CPU so we can run some better FPS in the near future. But everything's running well. As you see, we got about 40 FPS on Halo 1080p, and that's a pretty demanding game. It's a very modern game, so I'm happy about that. Valheim about 35, but Valheim runs really bad on everything. I have a 3070 and I barely get 80, 85 FPS. Well, other than that, that's pretty much it. We're gonna go ahead and stare at it now, so let's go ahead and handle that business. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.